Thanks, Adobuere, for joining.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah. We can start talking casually, I think, for now, and then get into it.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're from Boston, but not really. Like, you are from Oklahoma, but then moved
Well, I'm
here.
from Boston.
You're from Boston.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. I grew up here.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an actor and model,
Mm-hmm.
and you do a lot with theater, like contemporary and classical theater.
Yeah, mostly contemporary.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually steer clear of classical work.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a personal preference?
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer contemporary work.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I was reading up on some of your background. It seems like you've done a lot of cool stuff. Like right now you're making the Pineapple Diaries, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we did 2 seasons of that. We're currently not filming any season 3 or any episodes or anything like that. But yeah, there's all those episodes up on YouTube. So I mean, there might be a season 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I saw like the preview. I love the music and the I don't know, the colors.
Paloma has chosen great music for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the first season, and we did
shot in Boston, right?
Yeah, it was filmed in Boston.
I saw some of the background. Yeah, it was like the orange light.
Yeah.
Really
we're
cool.
both from Boston, and both have a deep love for Jamaica Plain. Then we did a second season, and now we're just seeing maybe if we'll do a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
So when you hear about Boston, you hear about Irish and Italian. And
yes.
That's all great and fine, but there is JP, and there is Roxbury, and there is Dorchester.
And Chinatown.
And Chinatown, yes. Can't forget. Right up the street. And so many little pockets that, have so many things to offer. So
filmmakers and theater producers can choose to show like whatever they want.
Sure.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, kind of?
Yeah, well, I think that there are a lot of people who are trying to do better at putting more diversity in their work.
Right.
The word inclusion is being thrown around a lot, and I don't know how I feel about that, but I think that it is important, though, that people are becoming aware, and I think that especially this year, there are just, I keep saying this to my friends, and we keep having this conversation where it's like, this year, there's just like this pulse of like things that you thought you were going to get away with and continue to get away with is no longer allowed.
Such
just
as
like with so many movements. In terms of sexism in the industry, in terms of racism. Blatant things that it's just like everybody's getting called out.
Yeah.
So you really just have to either step it up, or a lot of people are making their own work, or there's just like I feel a huge shift happening. A lot of things are coming like to the surface that have just been like, oh yeah, we're just doing this.
With that too, I have noticed that as well. My only thing is I'm a little bit concerned that people are going to forget, because I feel like this type of awareness on diversity comes in waves. Right. Like throughout the decades and the generation.
Yeah, hopefully not. It's up to us to really make sure that it doesn't just be this quick thing that's like, oh, it's cute now to feel like you're like revolutionizing or making a big impact, or just because it's like a trend. I don't feel that it's a trend, and I think it's important as I'm working to make a point of creating value. Like, it's really important to me to
like
be creating value.
Yeah, like a lasting impact.
Yeah.
Of diversity.
I certainly hope that it's going to be lasting, and that it's not just like a quick blimp, because it's important.
It is important.
It's very important that we continue to make Black Panthers, and that Issa Rae keeps happening over and over again, and so many people who are coming to the front and that are getting a chance to tell their stories as they want to be telling them.
So my thoughts are that, like, I do see the optimist, I do hope that diversity and inclusion keeps moving forward, but I know that without accountability or without incentives, it's not going to happen, and like people go back to what's comfortable. And what's always been comfortable, like in this country, is kind of either ignoring diversity
Sure.
or even being harmful towards diversity.
I mean, in terms of that, a lot of other people are making their own work and work that they want to see.
Right.
So
with platforms like YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, they're creating their own platforms.
Yeah.
So if we go back, then it's going to be on us because we didn't continue to move it forward.
Oh. Yeah, earlier you mentioned that you weren't sure how you felt about the term inclusion.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could kind of speak more to that.
Well, I think that it's just an easy word to include in the work now, to make it seem like I'm just always in terms of trends and things coming and going. I'm just always interested and a little bit concerned about words like inclusion that get thrown in there to make some companies or organizations look like they are doing the work to really make sure that diversity is happening within their companies and organizations. And what that really means. I mean, I'm all for inclusion, obviously, at the root of it and what it really stands for. But I also, I want it to be, I do want it to be at the root and like throughout and not just on the surface. Yeah, like what are you trying to present and what are you really about?
Right.
Is what I'm always interested in. So, because the buzzword inclusion is out now, I'm just always interested in, okay, so when we go deep and we really have a conversation and we're really in there, what does that really mean?
So yeah, like have you seen diversity growing up and how did that affect you? Like diversity in film.
Diversity in film.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I always, just at home and like growing up, we were always watching, but it wasn't like specifically, it was like, here's this film with black people in it. It was like, you're just growing up and these were just things that we were watching, TV shows and music videos and musicians and artists, and that was just what our lives were.
Was that like kind of due to your interest as a kid, or like your parents kind of like encouraged it? Or like,
I don't know, it was just like what we were around and
what you gravitated to.
Yeah. But like all kinds of different things though.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think like the theater community is more, I'm going to use the word inclusive with diversity than like movies and TV? Or like, do you have an opinion on like how that compares? Or?
I guess it depends on where you are. Yeah, because there's like, I guess there's it's still a problem. It's still a big problem in both. It's a big problem in theater. It's a big problem in film that, you know, I'm looking at looking at castings, and these same companies are producing the same kind of work, and it's about like the white American experience and like the same plays over and over again, and your eyes just roll to the back of your head because it's like, really? You're doing that play again
we
this
already
season?
know
We already did
American
that. Oh, okay. Oh, y'all are doing it too? Oh, all right. Great. So, and you know, you can definitely still audition for them, but it makes you feel some type of way.
And
it doesn't make you feel included.
Right. They won't star you as the main character of the film or...
Yeah, I mean, unless they're very specifically like, oh, it's colorblind.
Right.
Or, you know, if it's a family, it's like most of the time I'm not even going to bother to go in for it or you know, submit to the casting because it's like, unless you specifically say you're looking for like an interracial couple, then I'm not even going to... It's unfortunate because it creates this, it creates this mentality in you where it's like, I know you're not going to do that, or at least I'm thinking that you're not, so I'm not even going to put myself in that side of things.
And that, I guess, kind of suggests or implies that like the default, the normal is like a white family, like.
Or the thing with me now, and somebody's going to have something to say about this, but see the term ethnically ambiguous so often.
Oh my god, that's such an awkward.
It's so awkward.
Term. Yeah.
And it's more awkward because it's like you're leaning more on the lighter side, more on the, we're comfortable with this. We're comfortable with this look. We're comfortable with your hair being like just curly and like it's not like a certain texture.
Maybe
so
a little
you
bit
are
white.
leaning, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
like not,
you're leaning
not super Asian or super black.
You might be black, but you might also be Latino. Or you might be something else, but like that's okay.
Yeah.
You see that, I see that so much
and
more.
For the Asian community too. Like,
yeah.
It's not saying like like we want super Asian. It's just like a little bit Asian. Like maybe half.
Yeah. Look at you and say, okay, yeah, that works. That's just enough. You're not too Asian.
Yeah.
You're not too black.
Yeah.
This will be good. This will be good.
This will satisfy our...
Yeah, this will be good for our customers. Like they can swallow this pill. It's not too much for them.
Right.
Which of course dumbs down your audience and makes, I don't know, it's like we're creating this normal. Or this is the normal. It's normal, like normal families and normal people look like this.
To create that definition.
Right.
And they're like
which
kind of abusing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like not thinking about the impact or like realizing kind of the power that they have.
Yeah.
And how they're wielding it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean I don't think they're that stupid though. I think they know. I don't think they're sitting around like, oh, let's put ethnically ambiguous in this again because we don't know anything. Like, no. I think that they know what they're doing most of the time. And
I think sometimes they like do it, but like they kind of gloss over the facts that maybe it's not a great thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. They bypass that part of it.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's fine.
Whatever makes money, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they think they make money.
Yeah.
Think will make the money.
Exactly.
Because I'm afraid too that Black Panther was, I think, the biggest grossing Marvel movie, like superhero movie.
Was it?
Like out of all time.
It's done pretty great.
But I'm really afraid that Hollywood is just gonna like somehow short circuit, like forget that and be like, oh no.
But you know what? It's not up to Hollywood. I mean, Ryan Coogler's in Hollywood now. And
what is?
Ryan Coogler, who's the director.
Okay.
And so it's not up to Hollywood anymore. Like I feel like the narrative has to change. Where it's like, oh, Hollywood isn't doing this for us, or it's like, but Ryan Coogler decided that he was gonna. I mean, he did Fruitvale Station, Creed. He's like 28 years old. He's already done all of these things. He's getting in there. So, I mean, we can't leave it up to Hollywood and whoever the Hollywood people are to decide what narrative is being put to the front.
And the good news is, like, maybe he's becoming, he is now part of Hollywood, so maybe Hollywood's demographic can change.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to. And the whole thing about also, in terms of putting the normal people up front, is the idea that, well, we're not going to sell tickets with a whole black cast. That's the thing. That's the idea, right? And I'm sorry, how much money did Black Panther make?
Yeah, it did the best.
What? It's like, is it second or did it bypass Titanic yet? Because it's like all the way up there.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing where it's like, oh, well, these movies won't sell if we put black people in them, or these movies won't sell if we make the cast more diverse. So, you know, when they turn it around to be like, oh, well, look at the money. But no, that doesn't work anymore. Because we've seen this, so now you have to change the narrative.
Yeah, and I think, with Incluvie, I want to make sure, like, that people remember the narrative. Because, like, it's in the news now, but, like, maybe in a few months, like, it won't be in the news anymore, and then, like, I don't know, people forget so easily.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure there's an incentive, or, like, rating, like, a score to remind people, like, oh, yeah, Black Panther was great. Like, it did get, like, a full +5 on the Incluvie scale.
Yeah.
So watch it, kind of thing. I just want to make sure people remember.
Yeah, I think they're gonna remember. They're gonna remember. They'll be fine.
Yeah, with Incluvie's help.
Yeah.
And like the work that you do and other people of color, like there needs to be action. Like if people just sit back, then change isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Without
absolutely.
Effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I think what you're doing is great with the Pineapple Diaries. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like I was watching a little bit of the trailer for Pineapple not Pineapple Express, Pineapple Diaries.
It happens a few times. Yeah, it's fine.
And I did notice a lot of diversity in the film or in the series. I was wondering, like, if you thought about including other types of diversity, like Asians, Latinos, or even like LGBTQ, or like.
Yeah, well, I mean the last part is already included, and then it's actually, in terms of the Pineapple Diaries, it's not up to me to decide who's included, because I didn't write it, I didn't cast it, but I know that is, you know, it's interesting, because when the people that I know who create, when we think about creating, we're not thinking about, let's put in an Asian person, or let's put in a Latino, or this person or that person, or like, let's make sure there's a black person. Like, these people are already in the circle.
Okay.
And, or like, let's throw in a lesbian in there. And like, these, like, we already know these people, and we surround ourselves with these people because they're just already in the circle.
And they're great at what they do.
They're great at what they do. And so, you know, they're there, and when they're in the space, and I think that's another thing with like thinking about Hollywood and diversity.
Yeah.
If you don't surround yourself with these people, and you don't know these people, and I think that's the other thing about racism, where it's like, you don't consider these people human or normal, so you don't include them because it's apart from you. But once they're included, then it's like, oh yeah, no, black people and Asian people and gay people have lives and love and eat food and do basic things that we all do.
They're not just tied to their race.
Exactly. So
like black people can be scientists, Asian people can go into
do whatever the hell they want.
Whatever, anything.
They can do
literally anything. Snowboard, win Olympic snowboarding competition.
Literally anything. And like in the Pineapple Diaries, there is an episode where one of the characters, I mean, she's gay, and so, you know, her girlfriend, who we meet in several episodes, they do have an episode, and I mean, it's just about them hanging out at like the what is it called? Wake Up the Earth Festival, and then they have their apartment. I mean, it's just like another couple. It's just another thing. So
so like you did mention that kind of like you didn't specifically go out of your way to like, you know, bring in an Asian person or like a gay person. And you did tie it back to Hollywood. So I think like that does say a little bit about like how diversity takes effort, or like making a change takes effort. Yeah,
if it's definitely out of your comfort, then those people need to make the effort. I think because it's normal for us to be around, you know, different kinds of people all the time. Oh, I know this person who's really good at this thing. They happen to be Asian. So we're going to bring them in. Or I know this person who's good at this other thing, and they're black, or like whatever. I mean, these stories just happen organically, unless it's very specifically about, you know, a specific race for a specific reason. Then, you know, it needs to be targeted to that demographic. And I don't think typecasting is a good thing at all. Like, we need to bring an Asian person or black person for this role. But I think just like it's specific to the character and like the background of that character, because we can't ignore the fact that race does have an effect on who you are as a person. It's very relevant. It's very. Yeah, but it's not the whole thing. Like, of course not. Yeah, like if there's a sitcom about, you know, a doctor or an astronaut, it doesn't have to be a white person, you know. Of course. Like, but yeah, I think it does help to like take active steps to bring in like people you don't normally hang around with, you know. Yeah, but also because, you know, there are lots of people who are good at what they do, and so you bring them in, and. But if you don't know them, then you don't like know that they're good at it, you know. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta include. Be inclusive. Real inclusive. Not like surface inclusive. I want to thank you, Adobuere, for like having us over, me and Amelia. Thanks, Amelia, for filming. Thank you. Like, I love talking about diversity with you and kind of getting your story and hearing about what you think about diversity in film and theater.
And Boston. We talked about Boston a lot too.
Yes, we did. Thank you. Thanks for coming and chatting with me. It's fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.